Throughout my time on the channel, I've seen few video topics requested more than the sex offender shuffle. It seems like you guys really want me to talk about this video, so let's do it. For those unfamiliar, the sex offender shuffle, or the SOS as I'll be calling it, is a rather old school viral YouTube video which is supposedly a leaked public service announcement video created by the Miami-Dade County Police Department in the 1980s. And what was the purpose of this public service announcement? Well, it was to warn the community of its newest batch of convicted sex offenders in song and dance form. The story goes that each offender was legally compelled by the state of Florida to deliver a rap verse detailing their offenses. Yeah, it's a strange video, and this would be a rather humiliating punishment for those involved if it was real. And that's the thing, it's not real. I don't think I need to tell you guys that this is a parody.
Apologizing for what I've done. In case you were wondering what that was, I snuck into a bathroom and I eat no truffles.
The SOS is actually a rather intentional parody project created by writer and short filmmaker Scott Gairdner. But just because we know this video is a parody doesn't mean there's no story to tell. Today I'm going to tell you all the backstory behind this video, I'm going to tell you the internet's reaction to it, and a bit about what happened to Scott after this video took off online. So if the SOS is a parody, what exactly is it a parody of? Well, allow me to explain. In 1985, a song was recorded by members of the Chicago Bears football team, and that song was called the Super Bowl Shuffle, and it was extremely popular in America at the time. The song and eventual music video featured various members from the 1985 Bears team, each braggadociously declaring their strengths as players and claiming that the team would make it to that season's Super Bowl. The song became so popular that it actually charted on the Billboard Hot 100, and it very much became a pop culture sensation at this time. Turns out the players would be correct in their predictions, as not only did the Bears make it to Super Bowl 20, they won the game. The team decimated the New England Patriots, beating them 46-10, and for the first time, the Chicago Bears were Super Bowl champions. This series of events escalated the pop culture significance of the Super Bowl Shuffle to that of legendary status, as this tongue-in-cheek silly song actually predicted the fate of the team winning the game. Throughout the 80s and 90s, the Super Bowl Shuffle was the subject of numerous parodies, many of which were created by other NFL teams. That being said, companies and late-night hosts also participated in the fad. In many ways, it was replicated to exhaustion. Eventually, the Super Bowl Shuffle parody fad would run its course and found itself falling into obscurity in the early 90s. However, this wouldn't be the last time a Super Bowl Shuffle parody would become relevant, as many years later, with the rise of the internet and online video media, this parody format would become resurrected in bizarre fashion and showcased to an entirely new generation.
Hey everybody, my name is Scott, and I'm going to do 1,000,000 impressions in 1 minute, starting now. Hey! Hey! Hey!
On January 8, 2006, a 21-year-old Los Angeles-based indie writer/filmmaker named Scott Gairdner created his YouTube channel under the name Zoltarkill. For several years, he would upload skit-based shorts to this channel, many of which were well received. Gairdner was responsible for one of YouTube's first viral videos, Pac-Man the Movie, uploaded May 6th of 2006. This video was essentially a mock movie trailer based off the Pac-Man franchise and served as Gairdner's first big viral hit. The search for Gairdner's second big viral YouTube hit takes us to more familiar territory in 2009. This is when he came up with the idea for the SOS. His idea for this video was to bring back the long-dead Super Bowl Shuffle format and parody it with the rather uncomfortable premise of the performers being convicted sex offenders. Using using various personal connections, Gairdner put together a cast to portray the motley crew of characters in his video. These characters were portrayed by Scott Gairdner himself, his girlfriend, and a handful of friends he met through prior YouTube collaborations. It was decided that the setting would be a Miami-Dade County, Florida Police Department in the year 1988, and specific wardrobe and editing choices were made to match that 80s aesthetic. When asked by a Florida publication as to why he decided to make the setting in this Miami-Dade County Police Department, Scott responded with this: "No offense, but I wanted a place that sounded a little dull, or a little dull and funny. I liked the way Miami-Dade sounded." The video was recorded and edited in less than 2 days, and on November 30th, 2009, Scott Gairdner uploaded the SOS to his YouTube channel.
Vernon Douglas is my name. My battery arrest is what brought me fame. But there's much more to know about me. I love to dance and I love to ski. I zip and zoom on through the snow. Just strap on my boots and watch me go. But I can't ski until December. Till then I'm just a sex offender.
Gairdner's subscriber base was familiar with his work and immediately recognized that the video was some sort of skit or parody. However, when the shuffle went viral in subsequent months, it would reach audiences unfamiliar with Gairdner's content. This is where we see the real backstory behind the video becoming distorted. Some viewers that would inevitably stumble across the SOS during its original viral spread were on the younger side, and didn't grow up in a time when the Super Bowl shuffle was relevant in pop culture. Thus, these viewers were unable to recognize that the SOS was an obvious parody of the aforementioned source material. This resulted in waves of puzzled commenters posting variations of "Is this real?" in the comments section of the video, with many of them walking away from the SOS thinking that it was really some leaked public service announcement from the 80s haphazardly uploaded to YouTube, even though it clearly says it was made by Scott Gairdner at the end of the video. As years passed, the mythos surrounding this video would only grow in tandem with its view count. Gairdner was well aware of the misunderstood backstory associated with his work, and on occasion he would go out of his way in an anonymous fashion to toy with those inquiring for details about its production. A rather humorous example of this occurred on Reddit in 2013 after a thread posted by user Sex Offender Shuffle caught the eye of Gairdner. The poster put up an AMA request for a cast member of the SOS. He included the following questions. Why does this video exist considering the trouble it must have been to create in the 80s? Who was this video made for? How did you obtain this position as cast member? Do you keep up with your fellow cast members? And who funded the video? After finding this post, Gairdner promptly created a dummy account called THughes98 and made up a false backstory for the video, responding to the Redditor. Here are some of the highlights from his post. I think I can shed some light on this subject. My name is Todd Hughes. My Aunt Laura appeared in the video you're referring to, though against her will. It's been a difficult subject for my family, but I'd love to help clear up some misconceptions. In the late 80s, Miami's sexual predator unit began cracking down harder than ever on sexual misconduct. While sex offenders had long been forced to go door to door, a new policy was proposed, sending videotapes to Miami neighborhoods. This would give residents a convenient reference of local sex offenders' faces and voices. Over time, the idea morphed into a cruel mockery of the accused parties. My Aunt Laura was forced to participate in order to be eligible for home ownership in North Bay Village. She was handed a crude rap implying that she had touched her cousin, though the actual circumstances were far more complicated. For years, our family thought that they had buried this terrible chapter, but in 2009, the footage from my aunt's shuffle was posted to YouTube and presented as viral found footage, making a sad mockery of my aunt yet again. Thankfully, there was a silver lining. While organizing a sadly unsuccessful class action suit against YouTube, she reconnected one of the other SOS participants, Samuel Pound. Today they are married and together they own and operate a sand store outside of Los Angeles. I hope this was relatively interesting. I'm just tired of people believing the video was some kind of comedy spoof. I want the world to know the Laura Hughes Pound I know, a warm, loving, tender, incredibly affectionate aunt. I think the fact that he went out of his way to do this just speaks volumes to the dedication he has to the entire SOS video and the mythos surrounding it. But anyway, without bogging you down with too much redundant detail about the online spread of this video, that's pretty much how it got around. I want to briefly talk about what happened to Gairdner after this video blew up. Did this open up any career opportunities for him? And the answer is yes, quite a few. After the massive success of the SOS on the internet, Gairdner's work began to catch the eye of those in the more traditional television industry. In 2010, Gairdner was hired as a staff writer for Will Ferrell's production company, Funny or Die. He would work on various projects for that company until quitting in 2012, after which he became a sketch writer for Conan on TBS. Additionally, he would go on to create an animated series for Comedy Central called Moonbeam City. Unfortunately though, this series was cancelled after season 1. Nonetheless, having the opportunity to create a network-funded animated series was a dream come true for Gairdner. Gairdner's resume has very much blossomed in recent years, and he has outgrown his YouTube content to some degree. But that doesn't mean it isn't important to him, as he often credits it as the springboard that started his career in the more traditional entertainment industry. But with all that being said, I just want to wrap things up here by saying I really feel like Gairdner's case is pretty remarkable, considering how he was able to turn such a bizarre video concept essentially into a career in traditional TV. I mean, you take a video called Sex Offender Shuffle and morph that into writing for Conan. Round of applause, my dude. But that pretty much is the story of the SOS, how it was created, how it spread, and what happened to its creator after all of that happened. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. Major shout out to my patrons, I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out, peace.